Now?
That's just like a call.
Oh, it's on. We're live on Facebook.
You're live. You're on.
Oh, okay. Are we on?
Are we?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's live. Okay. Yay. Thank you. Okay.
Finally.
Well,
Hey,
there we are.
we apologize. There having some technical difficulties. LoVina was telling us a story where she actually won a powwow championship, and she said her cousins weren't judges, and Facebook wouldn't let us go on. They're saying it was fake news.
Hey.
Well, welcome everyone. We're up. It's 13 after, and thank you for your patience. We were having technical difficulties, and we were trying different things, and we finally made it work. So thank you, Jillene, for coming in and helping your elders get on.
Jillene,
We made it.
I need some help. All I did was press this button. I don't know.
Oh gosh. So here we are. Welcome to our week 21 of our Native Wellness Power Hours. My name is Jillene Joseph, and I have my colleagues here with me, and we're going to do some introductions and a check-in. And we just want to give a shout out to the Urban Indian Health Institute for their love and support and sponsorship today. We're in week 21, and this is the Native Wellness Institute's response to the pandemic. And we wanted to bring daily positive and uplifting programming to you. And that's what our power hours are all about. So we thank you for tuning in as well. So we're just going to do some quick introductions and a quick check-in, each of you. So Theda, do you want to go first?
Well, Oki Nixikoa, that means my spirit is really happy to see your spirit. All of our relatives. I'm doing great on the Blackfeet Reservation. Not Today Colonizer and LoVina Louie special. Hey. We're just really happy to be with you. Next.
Awesome. How about LoVina? You want to go next?
Hey, everybody. I'm coming live from Toledo, Washington, and I just spent the last weekend huckleberry picking. So I was in the mountains enjoying the huckleberries, and I picked more than I ate. So that's a bonus. And so I'm just super happy to be here today with all of my brothers and sisters. Oh,
Nice.
Robert.
All right. Ese halito. My name is Robert Johnston, and I am in Arizona battling this 115-degree weather we're having today. So going to be doing a lot of indoors. As you can see, Arizona, I'm kidding. My background's actually where I want to be right now. But I'm just really happy to be here with all of you, and Muskogee, Estijari, Choctaw, and just woo, excited.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. Jean?
Hey, everybody. It's good to be here. Gene Tagaban. My trinket name is Gayal, and I'm coming to you from the land of the Coast Salish of the Puyallup people here in Tacoma, Washington right now. And so it's just good to be here. It's good to see everybody. And yeah, right on.
Awesome. Thank you, Jean. Jean, would you mind just like kicking us off in a good way with a song?
Sure. Geez, I was looking for my drum while we're here, but I'll just sing anyways. I'll just sing for you guys. So it's like
Edit.
so yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo ho hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo ho hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo ho hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo ho oh, the trees Gunachish ho ho. Gunachish. Gunachish ho ho. Hoo 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 hoo. Ooh.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
didn't have a drum, but I was thumping on the floor with this. Check out this stick I got. I got it at Goodwill. $5.
Wow.
It's actually a pool cue. I didn't want the other part. I just wanted this part of the stick.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Goodwill, man.
You always find good deals at Goodwill. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jean, for that beautiful song. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. So if you're just now tuning in, we're starting a little bit late because we had technical difficulties. But finally, Jillene jumped on and helped the stars align, and she got us on. So thanks again, Jillene. So we're coming to you live for our Native Wellness Power Hour. We have Theda, NewBreast, and LoVina, Louie, Robert Johnston, Jean Tagaban, and myself, Jillene Joseph. My check-in, I'm doing really good. I did a power hour yesterday, and I haven't done one for like over a month or so, so it felt super good. And I didn't even get through all my notes. I need to do a part 2. Today's Friday. Today's the end of our week 21 of our Native Wellness Power Hours, and I'm feeling just really super good about that and proud of our work. And anyway, just really happy to be here. So today we wanted to have a conversation with our Native Wellness facilitators here. And the first question I want to ask is, in this pandemic that we're in, how are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing to take care of yourselves and to stay in balance? So anybody who wants to jump in and go first?
Man, I feel like I'm a guest on the Native Wellness Power Hour.
You are.
Well, first of all, doing Zoom with people like you, and I'm grateful that in our work we're still able to work, and it's not just the idea of working; it's the idea that we still stay connected with people. Like this week, seeing faces of young people and doing the things that we're doing. I mean, that's great medicine for during this time. And I also wanted to just mention too is that, like there's a lot of reminiscing that I'm doing. And what I mean is like I going through a lot of pictures and just going through, different things that we've done. And my TV, when it idles, or what do you call that, goes into, it just brings up old pictures. So even as I'm sitting here talking to you, every now and then I glance over because I might see Theda and a kangaroo or Jean on top of a ball in Sydney with his wings sprouted out. Just those are the images. And as we know, things work in a cycle. So, I'm looking forward to doing those type of things again. That's what helps me. And I've also, have experienced a little back pain. Honestly, I think I'm experiencing more back pain than usual because of the stress related to everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. And so, because of that, I really have to remove myself from social media at times and really had to just focus on different things and doing little tasks and things like that. And as my back starts to feel better, then, get back to exercise more. I actually forced myself yesterday to do 2.5 hours. So, I did cardio, I did yoga, and I did a pool workout, and my body is sore today, but it felt good because of my back. I haven't been able to do that for a while, but those are the things we got to do to take care. Of course, the food, I got my salmon over there ready to go for tonight's dinner. It's just these little things that we can do to just take care. And, I'm so glad that being part of Native Wellness Institute, I do feel like a participant with it because I am, paying attention to what has been shared, not just from us, but from people from all over. I always say, hey, all I do is I get things going, and then my lessons come from the people that come visit us at our conferences, and just learning from that. There's a lot of great things that we can do, but we learn it for a reason. Throughout our life, we learn these good things for a reason. And now this is where we got to put it into practice. This is why we learned it, so that we could use it. So that's what I'm doing during this time.
Great. That's great messages. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. How about you, Theda? What are you doing for your self-care during the pandemic?
Well, I was just happy you messaged us because I had to run back from a hike. I was all greasy. I did change my shirt, but I still got my pajama bottom on because I just went out. I just headed out in my pajamas because there's nobody around, And so I said, oh yeah. So I ran back here, and we have a protocol, when you get to be, when you're an old lady or you get older, you're supposed to dress proper and adorn yourself. You should never go out in public looking shabby. So sometimes during this pandemic, I go, so even days, I just, they say to adorn yourself, like when you put on your dance outfit or, you put on your headdress or you should adorn yourself indigenous. And so I've been rethinking that, like during this pandemic, because it was about 2004, because when I went to New Zealand to meet with the elders around the care for the water, and I kept asking them for the protocol, and I kept saying, well, ask, please, I want to hear from the elders. And so they didn't want to say anything because they know how Americans are, So anyway, this is what they finally said to me was, they told Deidre Nahula, they said, well, when she comes, because they have all their old people and canes and stuff, they said, ask her to dress like her ancestors, not like her oppressors.
Mm.
So from that, and I thought about that a lot because anyway, so I just make sure I dress like my ancestors and not my oppressors, so I don't wear low cut, push it up or nothing like that. I don't do any of those. I don't do that. Let's see. I knew you were going to ask this, and I started asking myself, and I think I carry some pipes, and they're personal pipes. I think that pipe's been carrying me. And I have some teachings, and I think I've been really relying on those, and still my elders, I just talked to Dr. Sidney Stone Brown for 2 hours this morning to do a check-in about the sand hills, because that's where we go when we die, when we're still alive, but we go to the big sandy. So I think my pipe, and I know it's my sobriety, because I'm just looking at, I think I would be dead or locked up or crazy, still going and still trying to sneak and have a Budweiser, Anyway, that, and then I'll end with this, I feel like a guinea pig. We're trying new things. And when I try new things, I always try to come back to center. Like I go do a Zoom, I go and I try to go to a funeral that's with mass. Like I come back to center. I had my mom spent the night, and so I had a good 6-hour mom talks. I come back to center, and my center is my mind, my body, and my spirit and my soul. But this past 3 days, we did a first for NWI. We did a GONA training of facilitators, and so I was uncertain. And so I just went in with my prayers, and I trusted the people, and man, they took it away. I mean, they owned it. By the second day, they were doing skits. They even did the Uncolonized Ally, that one handout. They did a satire, where the dark guy talked like a white guy and the white guy talked like a dark guy. It was like this amazing energy. But it was not pointing fingers or blaming anyone. It was just saying, please take a look at your behavior. And is there some behaviors that you've learned over this last 5 months that you got to put in check and behave differently with an open heart and some kindness? and so you know, so I don't want to hog all the time. I'm really conscious of, I really want to listen to the others, and you know, I'm my life partner is fine. We've been apart this whole time, so we're finally going to get a visit, and so that has reassured me of my teachings of discipline.
Nice.
I'm really thinking about discipline. So next.
Thank you, Theda. So in the comments I had put, well, tell us what you're doing for your self-care. And Debbie Heart Cell said, I put on my earrings before I put in my teeth. Awesome, Debbie. Thank you for sharing. So LoVina, how about you? What are you doing for your self-care during this time?
So I think for me, it's, you know, because when it all first started, I think one of my biggest challenges was to teach my kids. And the first 2 days, I was super excited, and I did like indigenous learning and medicine wheel teachings and water teachings, and I was all excited. But then after like the second, third day, week, I was just like, man, this is really hard. Like the education is way different, and I didn't even know how to teach Unity the math, and she's only in 3rd grade. So, you know, the math is different, everything's different. I was all stressed out. And so like, I think, you know, it was just a matter of like calling teachers and just like Jean helped me. Jean was like, LoVina, Ruby said it's okay if you only teach 2 hours a day. You're not expected to do the whole 8 hours. I was like, oh, thank God. Like just having somebody tell me like I don't have to try to keep these guys occupied. And then you know, of course, internet is the bomb. I was like buying education.com, buying all these things. So for me, you know, that was a challenge in the beginning. But then, you know, I think for my own wellness, just being able to talk to my brothers and sisters, my family, and just staying connected to people, because I'm such a people person. Like this whole pandemic, for people who are extroverts, man, we've really struggled, you know, because we're so used to talking to everybody and going everywhere and doing everything, and we're just like stuck at home. And so just trying to like stay connected. And of course, our work, you know, once we started the power hours and the prayer songs on Sundays, like that kept me busy. And that's what I needed for my own self-care, is I needed to be busy. I needed to stay positive. I needed to be interacting with people. Even if it was like this, I was okay with that, you know? I mean, so for me, I've just been like, you know, and I think a big part of my own physical well-being was to just go outside and walk. I would just go outside early in the morning and walk and pray and watch my Netflix Korean dramas. You know, so it's like sometimes I had to escape into, you know, movies, because that's my escape, is movies. So, but yeah, definitely just spending time with my family though has been amazing. My mom and dad got in a car wreck, and that kind of shook my whole little world, because you know they're 73 and 74, and my dad, I mean, it just was a big wake-up call for us to, you know, we have to take care of our parents, and it just made me rethink a lot of things about my mom and dad and their health and their safety. And so, but yeah, so it's, but you know, thanks to all of you that keep in touch with me, and you know, I've been able to get through pretty good. So
awesome. Thanks, LoVina. Thanks. And how about you, Jean? What are you doing for your self-care during the pandemic time?
Well, during my self-care during this time, I'm just thinking about the consistencies during this time. And one of the consistent things is, you know, keeping a routine. And that's with Ruby and I, you know, and we get up in the mornings, we'll have our coffee, and we'll get dressed, just get dressed, as opposed to just walking around in sweats or pajamas all day long, you know, and Ruby makes sure that she takes a look at me. She's making sure my eyebrows aren't getting all bushy and stuff like that. She's grooming me, you know, and especially since I'm going to be on power hours, I'm doing like these other trainings and teachings and things like that, you know, And so, just the support that we just give each other with, because sometimes she'll just, we're champion nappers. We're champion nappers, and sometimes I just don't want to go take a nap, and I'm like this little stubborn kid, and she'll like just grab me by the hand and I go, no, we're going to take a nap. And I'm screaming and shouting, I don't want to take a nap. I don't need to take a nap. And as soon as I lay down and my eyes are closed, I'm gone. I'm out. I'm snoring away. And so it's like, so that's been a consistent in my, with that. And plus another thing is just get outside and ride. And, I've got to stay active. I've got to be active. I've got to move, and so I'm a bike rider, and I've been riding my bike. And as I'm riding my bike, I've been making it like my rides have been more mindful. The pedal strokes, how I'm breathing, how I'm feeling, and listening as I'm going through the parks, and I'm listening to the language of the birds, and the squirrels running up and down, and those things. And also it's my rides have been, I've been praying. Because we could pray other than just sitting in a spot, in one spot. It's a moving meditation. It's a moving mindful meditation and prayerful. So as we walk or go for a drive, whatever. So even my rides, I'm just praying. I'm praying. And sometimes when I want to pray really hard, I'll find a really, really big steep hill, and I'll just ride hard and just push it, and what that does, as I'm suffering during those rides, and through my suffering and my exertion, I'm praying for those. Don't give up, You could do this, and just to everybody out there. So my rides have been my prayer, So prayer has been a huge part of my wellness and my health. I carry medicine with me. I carry tobacco, sage, already medicine ties, and we do that, and then I got a support group that I go to every Tuesday nights with my brothers up in Alaska, a men's support group, and I love those guys, and we've got to know each other in a way that if it wasn't for the Zoom or this, I really appreciate this time, this opportunity, because we've gotten to know each other, and I mean, truly, I love those guys. We say when we see each other, we're just going to give each other this big bear hug, man. Hugs are going to have a new meaning when we can see each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I love hugs, but when we see each other, we're going to have a new meaning. And so, and teaching, and then with the wellness, the power hours too, is like these are the consistent things I've been doing. Sure, I'm getting outside this week. I'm taking care of yard stuff, cutting trees, climbing trees. Ruby's like getting on my case because I'm like this here. I still think I'm 20 something years old. I'm climbing these trees and like trimming trees and stuff. And I'm up top of these trees, and here I'm like this 56-year-old guy, and climbing around on trees. It's been fun. But those are just a few things, and that I'm doing, and I'm always looking for new things. But those have been the consistencies that I've been doing through this time.
Awesome. Thanks, Gene. And Ruby's commenting in the comments, send him on his rides daily. He needs them.
I know. She just says, she gets tired of me. She goes, okay, you need to go for a ride now. All right. Meaning get out of the house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's her wellness, man. That's her health and wellness. Kicking me out of the house.
One of the things that, I think like in the last 2 weeks, I have like found my groove finally. Like, in the beginning, when we started the power hours, like on March 21st, I was on travel, and then I felt like when we went on travel to do our training in Florida, it was almost like as soon as we landed in Florida, the country shut down and all the stuff was happening. It's just like, oh my gosh. And then we saw really quick, like, wow, this is real. This pandemic is real. And then we just kind of like, boom, we just went into motion, and just like go, 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 go. And then I got stopped, you know, and anyway, went through all that. And so like in the last few weeks, just like found my groove, and it was just like, oh, well, if I don't get all this stuff done today, oh, well, there's tomorrow. And if I don't get it done tomorrow, then there's the next day, you know? So like, so that has been really good for me, finding my groove. And then the other thing is my meditation. So I've been really trying to do the 2-a-day meditations. And so one of the things I just really love is like when I meditate and then I have that big deep breath and that big release of the deep breath. Like, oh, I just love that. Like when that happens when I'm meditating, it's just like, yes, you know, because I know like whatever that big release is, like, is just, you know, whatever needs to come out. And I may not even be aware of that, but I just love that when I have that big deep breath and release when I'm meditating. So that has been one of my self-care things. And the other thing is, you know, we don't eat out a lot anyway. Like pre-pandemic, we pretty much cook all our meals all the time. But now it just kind of seems different. And we kind of have like a little rotation going where one of us or 2 or 3 of us will cook. And then we kind of rotate. We've been eating like really late though. But last night we had dinner like at 6:30 and my mom called like around 9 and she's like, "Are you done with dinner yet?" I go, "Yes, we ate at a normal time today." So that was funny. So we're trying to like get back on that track. And so those are some of the things that I've been doing for my self-care. And then we have really good visits at dinner. Like sometimes we'll be sitting there for 3 hours just visiting about all kinds of stuff and like dreaming different things with the kids and, you know, business ideas and just, you know, all kinds of cool things like that. And I really enjoy that time. And I was there's this online thing, it's called Next Door Neighbor. And so several months ago, I had decided I was going to do some anti-racism work on that platform. So I was getting all these crazy comments and I was even getting private messages. Yes, I was getting private messages from people like concerned for my safety. And so that was our topic of conversation at dinner for a while. And my kids were like, "Mom, why are you trying to be friends with racists and bullies, you know?" So anyway, but it made for a really good conversation. So, you know, one of the reasons why we wanted to do the power hours was to provide uplifting and positive messaging to our people. And we also wanted to take the opportunity to provide like platforms where we knew people would be stuck in their homes, and we wanted to provide messaging and a platform to help people with their wellness and healing journeys. So if you could each take some time and just share, what are some words of wisdom that you have for people that could encourage them like to focus on their own wellness and healing during this time of the pandemic, during this time when we're at home? And, you know, I specifically chose to wear this shirt today, that healing is a verb. And what that means is we have to take action. We have to take action and do something if we really want to focus on our healing. And, you know, so I think about, we're in this time of a pandemic and we're in this time of a revolution, right? And when we look at the root word of revolution, it really means to turn things around. And what better time for Indian country to turn things around and really address and a big concerted effort to impact the lasting impacts of historical and intergenerational trauma. So, Rob, do you want to go first and share some?
Yeah, you know, one of the things that has been trying to get away from thinking, because I'm sure a lot of us think this way, and that is when this is all over, right? That phrase right there, when this is all over, when this is all over. Number one, because what is this? You know, what is this? We can't define this. This isn't brought on upon us. This is a something. This is bigger than us. And the other part of it too is that what's over, you know, we're not even sure what that means. What's over, you know, because it's not just pandemic, it's everything, you know. And so here, you know, But the thought though is, how can I be better? You know, and that was the thought from day one. And there was a little bit more of, okay, it's just a pandemic, right? And when the pandemic's over and, you know, we got to quarantine, we got to social distance, we got to, you know, isolation. You know, I've been self-isolation. You know, I cook all of my own meals. I wish you'd send some of those Josephs my way and they can cook for me for a while. But when with this idea of getting back to this normal, you want to be in a better spot, right? Well, again, it's that same mentality, but it's all about improvement. It's all about improvement from this time on. It's all about improvement. It's all about, what if, you know, we do this thing called how well am I in our packets, and in that how well am I, it has us focus on what are we already doing well and what do we need to improve on. But I think a big thing we need also to focus on is, what do we need to let go of, just what's no longer needed. You know, shift happens, right? And when shift happens, we let go of things, we move on. So when we start to look at this, what is it that's going on? You know, we can be a part of it. You know, we're not higher up than others. We're not higher up than Creator. We're not higher up than the earth. We're a part of it. And this is all shifting. So we can still be a part of it, and we can still, you know, take part of that movement. But we got to let go of some things. You know, we got to let go of some things, not just on a personal basis, but also in society. But, you know, leadership comes with, you know, going back to what Gandhi said, right? You know, be the change you want to see in the world. And so that it's tough to do. It's tough to do, no doubt. But, you know, if we're going to move in that direction, it takes a personal individual to look at that. So I would say, just even starting off with this, even for those that are watching right now, like, think about something, you know, be proud of what you're doing to take care of yourself. You know, focus on that, list them, write them down, say, this is what I'm doing, and show that list to people and say, hey, this is how I'm taking care of myself. But also show them this, be vulnerable enough to say, this is what I need to improve on. Because that's tough, you know, this is what I need to improve on. And maybe you're not ready to do this with others, but quietly to yourself, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to just let go of because it's not serving me well anymore? Mm-hmm. So that would be my bit of advice.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks, Rob. How about you, Theda? What's your words of wisdom?
You know, I feel honored to be with you guys. I think simple things like sleep hygiene, you know, really, so like I'm growing a bunch of lavender because I'm visualizing, you know, bringing it inside in the winter when it's 30 below, and just having lavender kind of laced around my bedroom. And then all of the medicines that I've picked in the past month, like the Munaguppy, the sage, other medicines, I'm drying it above my bed. So the first visual I see is, you know, I have some drums up there, and I think what we see helps us come back to center. You know, I have a picture of my two grandmas that I've always kept in my living room since I was a teenager. And it's, you know, it's right over there I have a wood stove, and those are my two grandmas. And I was thinking, I always put it in my living room so my grandmas could see what I'm doing. So I know the spirits across the veil watch us. And so then I think to myself, you know, what have they taught me to be okay? You know, because like when I'm praying, I mean, you know, they're not in the bathroom with you, but they are. but I, you know, like when I'm smoking my pipes, or when I'm doing certain things, and when I'm putting out tobacco, when I'm, you know, sending medicine in the mail, I'm like an Indian Amazon, you know, I guess I've like sent out most of, but I thought, you know, I do those kinds of things, just that sleep hygiene. I really pay attention to my dreams, because when I don't remember my dreams, that means I've got too much other energy. I guess some people, like, it's like, so then I really, my dream hygiene. And so I journal, what I'm dreaming. So, like, for example, one of my Ganaxtamada brothers is in Florida. He works for FEMA. He's been deployed since 2016. So I took the time, because, I've been Zooming. I had to self-care. And so I visit with, I check on him, and we all check on each other. We call each other. And he was telling me how it was in Florida, but it was just, and I was talking to him about, who has the right to make these stand-ups, and you guys made, and then we dialogue, and then we talk about who we're going to talk to. We have all this dialogue so that there isn't one big Indian, that knows everything. And I think, I'm on a grandma support 12, I would say 12 step, but they don't do it 12 step. They're, they have 50 years sobriety, 42 years. And we started out, we were going to like go online, and I think we are in the fall, but we just, it's a grandma support group. And it's been the most helpful. Like, one of the grandmas is sending some wild rice, and anyway, and then I've always attended Alcoholics Anonymous since I got sober 32 years ago. And so our home group, we meet every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. and it's religiously, I don't miss it, because that keeps me to live one day at a time. It looks at my character defects, control issues. It looks at my all of if I need to make amends, if I need to do forgiveness. And so I've been doing that. I've done that the past 32 years, so I still do that. But I'm trying to learn newer things. And that I swear, you guys, like I'm saying, well, what else do I need to do? And so I think Gene would probably like this one. Because of water, I go in the water, but I've been going out low shore, like, where the water's up to here. And I stay out there for an hour or two in the water like this, and I just observe. I mean, like, I'm like, and I pray, and I actually ask the water, to take away, some of that stuff that I see that's not good, and then I just go along, and I kind of go, I go for quite a while, and I lose track of time. But when I get out, I just feel like, whoo, like I'm brand new, like I'm a brand new baby, and I'm, whatever. And so like when our work, because I know all of you, I know you're facilitating hard stuff. I really I've been having to work harder at getting back to myself and not holding on to what's not mine, because that secondary trauma, that tertiary, it's like flypaper when I'm hearing rough stories and when people are grieving. So I yesterday when we were done, I just took off up the mountain. I just drove up, and I try to be safe, but I drove up in an area I never drove up in, and I didn't know if I could turn around, so I had to back down. I saw it, I was four-wheeling, but I got up there and I got out and I just got quiet. I just stayed quiet. And I stayed calm, and I put out some tobacco with dirt, and I cried, but not like I just cried and whew. And then that helped me come back to myself, because I'm really having to work harder at coming back to myself when we do our work, and being in that quiet time. And so that's what I'm working on, and I'm still learning. So please, help me. I want to hear. I'm listening to you guys. I'm listening to you. I talk to other people, seeing what they're doing to, roll on the ground with their grandchildren, throw their dogs up in the air and catch them and laugh. What are the things that they do? Because I'm willing to try new stuff. I want to try new stuff, and in addition to the stuff I'm doing. But I see this as a blessing. This is like fast. So that's all I.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Theda. That was awesome. How about you, LoVina? What's your words of wisdom for people's healing and wellness journey?
Well, I think for me, it's just that, I have to always remind myself to wear my trauma lenses. Like, because when, especially with, like when I'm dealing with, people with my family, like I have to wear those trauma lenses so that I know that once people get upset or if they get angry, it's not at me or it's not because of me, because I'm such a type of person who I care about what everybody says and does. And, I just want everybody to be okay. I'm such a codependent and enabler. And so for me on my healing during this time, I've really been trying to learn more about how do I not be a codependent? How do I not enable? And, what are the, how do I say no? Like, that's really hard for me. And, throughout all of the healing work that I've done, I still struggle to say no, especially to my family, like that's the hardest thing. And, it wasn't very long ago when my daughter texted me like 7 texts in a row and she's like, Mom, you have to stop enabling us. You have to say no. You can't, and she just texted me all these things and I was sitting in the parking lot just crying. Like, my baby doesn't want me to help her no more. And I literally felt her cut the cord. And I was like, no, don't cut the cord. But she taught me so much that day about being a mom and allowing your children to fly and allowing them to fall. Like, I can't protect them 24/7. They're gonna fall and they're gonna get hurt, but they're gonna get back up and they're gonna be okay. And, and I think that, has been really, and I live like 6 hours away from my older 2 kids. So it's been, so I have to let them go. And but I have grandbabies now. So so then I'm always trying to like, well, are my grandbabies gonna be okay? Like I need to get them over here. So, and so it's just a constant, for me, I have a little sister who came to our training in Hawaii, Rainey. And, so like Rainey helps me, like look at other forms of healing of, your aurora. And, how do you, when you have hurts and pains, like I'm just a big, like, I like to experience all kinds of different healing because, I feel like anything I can learn is going to help my children and their children. Whatever I can help heal myself, my kids won't have to deal with. And so I truly, epigenetics and, like I seen somebody say in the comments, like talking to my water, like I say, I love you. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're healthy. You're strong. I talk to it. That's one thing that I've been extremely aware of is talking to my water. And so that, I really feel it. Like I feel it in my blood that, when I drink that water, it's helping me. And like somebody said, talking to my plants, I've kept a plant, like 5 plants alive in this year and a half I've been here. Like my plants are alive and they're awesome. I'm so proud of them. I'm so, I'm like, yes, you're beautiful. You're amazing. And a couple times they almost died, because I was gone and didn't water them and talk to them. But then I came back and I'm like, I'm sorry. And I'm watering them and talking and praying and smudging. But, those, I think that's just for me, my journey, I just continually work on how do I heal myself so I can help my children and grandchildren. So.
Awesome. Thanks, LoVina. Thanks. Okay, Jean, how about you? What's your wisdom?
You know, my elder told me, Walter Soboleff. And Walter Soboleff grew to be like about 105 years old. And one of the best pieces of advice that I got from him, amongst many, is like, take care of the old man you're going to be. Take care of the old man you're going to be. You know, and because I'm going to be that old guy. I'm already getting there. And my wife reminds me sometimes, you know, and then she'll remind me, you're not that old guy yet. You know, just stop gagging and, you know, and come here so I can cut your eyebrows. So anyways, but take care of that old guy you're going to be, you know, or that old lady you're going to be, or that elder, you know. And so what do I need to do now? What do I need to do now? What are those steps to take care of that old guy? You know, and you know, sure, eating right, healthy, health-wise, but also I want to learn. I want to continue to learn. But I want to learn everything, but I can't do that. If I try to learn too much at one time, because our ancestors, there's so much that I'll set myself up for failure. So just take one bit at a time. For instance, we had these birds nesting in our bush in our front yard, and they're house finches. And I love birds. I want to learn more about birds. And so I just took time to learn about the house finch, their nesting habits, their eggs, what they look like, the male and the female, their calls, their talk, how they communicate with each other. And what that did was open up a whole awareness of the other birds around me. Just by learning one thing about the house finch, or learning one thing about the one plant. Not all of them. I want to know about them all, but just one plant. Or just learn one song, you know, and just to narrow it down, just those small things, just to don't overwhelm yourself, because you will. It gets overwhelming, especially now. But just take one little thing. And what kind of elder do you want to be when that time comes? And not only that, but what kind of ancestor do you want to be when that time comes? And what can we do now? What can we do now to we're always asking our ancestors for help, but what can we do now to help our ancestors heal, so that this trauma that we talk about isn't passed on spiritually, ancestrally, to the next generations? And that's about just, again, taking care of the old man I'm going to be. You know, taking care of the old man I'm going to be. You know, and what is that? What is that? And just really finding that out and discovering that, and taking time right now. Value yourself. Value yourself. You know, and so I know we're running out of time. I can go on and on and on and on and on. You know, and again, storyteller support group, on and on and on and on and on. That's our theme, man. Native Wellness Institute.
It is. It is.
Jillene, I mean, because Jean, I wanted to say one thing, you know, and taking care of that old man or that old woman, you know, and it's about giveaway, because you know how we are, like, you know, like we're all we're those Indians that always save for giveaway. We got blankets and medicine, and we got all kinds of stuff, and So I'm kind of like that old Indian. I already have all my giveaway for when I die. You know, I got the blankets, you know, I got the they're stacked, you know, I got the coats made from Pendleton and all of this stuff. But so I was thinking to myself, well, why wait till I die? Just start giving it away. so then new baby's born. I sent him a star quilt. There's going to be a marriage in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to send him one of my blankets. And so I just thought, shoot, I'm just going to give all this away. I don't need all this. So then I'm just saying, give away, you know, I think we hoarded too much of this stuff. If you got 1,000 pair of earrings, give 500 of them away. Send them to somebody, you know, if you got a wheelbarrow of zucchini, give some zucchini to the other elders. I mean, so I just plant that seed, plant some seeds, you know, I think, and it's almost like we'll have a giveaway, you know, we give them, they give us. So it's actually, we're all given to each other.
Yeah.
So think what you could give away, even if it's words.
Awesome.
The words that you use that you give away. So anyway, just I wanted to throw that there. Have a giveaway.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I think in part that's one of the responses to capitalism, right? We just give things away, right? Like, yeah, awesome. Well, we'll go over, maybe till 10 after or so, since we started late, so it's like 3 after right now. So just hang with us. But Jeannie reminded me, Will and I were up in Alaska one time, and we got to go to Dr. Walter Sobolov's 99th birthday party. And it was awesome. And we got to sit right next to him. And he's like one of those kind of people where you can just sit there for hours, and and just everything he says, you just want to hold on to. And I remember one of the things he said that stuck with both of us is, somebody had sneezed in the room and somebody else said, "Bless you." And he starts talking about, sneezing and where that bless you came from and all this kind of stuff. And he says, we're living in a time where we just can't wait for someone to sneeze to bless them. Like, we need to bless people all the time, not just when they sneeze. And so that just stuck with me, that teaching. And it's just like, it's so true. And so I say that a lot, like sending you many blessings, or, whatever, all kinds of things like that. So when you mentioned Walter, Jane, I thought about that. Another thought for me is, during this time is like, we use that word healthy risk taking, and a lot. And that means like trying new things or doing things that you normally don't do, trying things where you're gonna, grow personally and even professionally. And so I think during this time, this pandemic time, is like, I've been trying to take healthy risks. And, ever since I turned 50 4 years ago, I'm 54 now, but when I turned 50, I was like really consciously paying attention to my own maturity, because I felt myself maturing in a whole different way, like when I turned 50. And so every year, like I'm really focused on my own maturing, like how am I continuing to mature, right? And so I pay attention to that, and I try to take these healthy risks. And so one of the things that my group of friends, we'll have like Zoom beading sessions, or try to get together and stuff like that. So beading has been a part of my self-care. And there's all these young people that are involved with NWI that are having babies. I think I've beaded like 4 pairs of baby moccasins in the last several months, but I love it, and just putting my good thoughts and all of that into these little things that that they're gonna wear. I have this I have a pile of baby moccasins right here on my desk, because I was gonna show them yesterday during my power hour, and then I forgot about it. But I made these like 28 years ago when Jillene was born, right? All my kids have wore this little pair of moccasins, and their cradle board matches it. Anyway, so I've been putting all my this love and all this kind of stuff into these baby moccasins. But this other thing that we're doing differently that I've never done before is it was like midnight one night, and I had this idea. So I emailed my friends and I said, hey, do you guys want to join me? And they all agreed. So starting on Monday, actually, I created the flyer a couple of days ago. On Monday, we're going to launch it. But here locally, we're doing a room makeover, and we're calling it New Room, New You. And so if whoever enters the drawing, then the following Monday on the 24th, we're going to draw one person, and me and my friend, they're going to send us pictures. They're going to choose one room in their house. So a bedroom or a living room or a bathroom or whatever, they're going to send us pictures. And then we're going to have our meeting on Zoom and look at their pictures, and we're going to design their room for them. We're not designers, but we're, wanna be designers. And so, and then we're gonna pitch in, and we're gonna like buy them paint, or buy them a candle, or buy them a new pillow, or whatever, something. And we're going to gather all these things and go put it on their doorstep. And then they're going to do it, right? Because we want to social distance and be safe. And they're going to paint one wall or all their walls. And then one of our friends is she has her own business. She's like a professional organizer. And so she's donating 2 hours of her time that she's going to give to that person to help them like get rid of junk and stuff, or to help them organize and all of this kind of stuff. So we're going to like give them this makeover. So we've never done this before, and we're just going to try it. And the intent behind it is just like being of service to somebody else and doing something that's going to help uplift someone else, and just bring that smile and help them have that reset, you know, like a physical reset in their room, and also like a physical, you know, reset within themselves. And so that's something that we're doing. And so I wanted to share that because I'm super excited to see how it's all going to turn out. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So here we are, we're coming to the end of our time, and we do have an announcement for everyone who's tuning in today. We have an announcement and we have a request for you, and Rob's gonna kick it off, and then we can all kind of share, not kick it off, but if you want to just let everybody know what's going on.
You know, well, first of all, as I sit here on this Zoom, I'm looking and I just feel really honored to be here with all of you. And I notice that you're all my elders. And before LoVina, you throw in, wait a minute. See, how I look at elders is people that I learn from, right? People that I learn from. And looking at Gene and like remembering the first time I saw Gene in the storytelling, and it was like, whoa. Like how he could take that. It was just really remarkable. And you know, me and Jillene go back to the University of Oklahoma, the youth paths back in the 90s, and watching you work and blowing my mind and listening to things that you said. And Theda, back to White Bison days, you know, when we were both involved over there. That White Bison was one of the first consulting programs that I worked with. And to see you up there and to be so honest and with your story, and like just this warrior, this woman warrior, and the strength. And LoVina was through unity. You know, LoVina and I are the same age, but you know, I remember sitting in the audience watching her, just blown away. You know, just blown away. But you know, I have a couple of other elders who aren't on this call, who are part of the board. And if you didn't know that this is NWI board, Jackie Blackbird is someone that I learned from. You know, it's just so, you know, someone who's really engaged in the corporate world and knows what's going on. And then Thosh, here I am, you know, I'm Thosh's former basketball coach, and Thosh's former youth council advisor. But yet he's an elder to me because there's so much that I learned from him, right? So we got elderhood here, but we also have another elder, and this is what we wanted to share with you, Charlie Tailfeathers. And those who met Charlie, you know, just his knowledge and his love and just his zest for life. And we're missing him from this call today because he's in healing right now. The pandemic has hit Native Wellness Institute. And Charlie right now is recovering from the complications of COVID-19. And we know that, well, we do believe if there's anyone that can beat it, it is Charlie, right? So full of prayer. And you know, we each have our stories of, you know, we know where Charlie is right now. He's in a different place right now, someplace where we're not. You know, he's still here with us, but spirit-wise, he's finding a new way to, and knowing Charlie, it's not just about beating this disease, but it's about learning from it. Knowing Charlie, right? So we're looking forward to hear his stories again about what he's going through. So we just wanted to share that with you because we miss him. We miss him being here with us, and asked, the family gave us permission to share this with you because Charlie, whenever you ran into Charlie, first thing we'd talk about would be the prayers that he said for you or has been saying for you, right? So we're asking if we could do the same for him. And Jillene, can you give us more details?
Yeah. So thanks, Rob, for sharing that. So Charlie is in the hospital on a ventilator, and he's sedated. And one of his sisters called last night, and she said she's grateful to the medical staff, the doctors and the nurses and everyone who is caring very well for him. And she said, now we need to do our part, and we need to believe in the miraculous ways of our people. And she said, let's collectively pray for him tonight. So at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Mountain time, 9 p.m. Central time, and wherever you are out in the world, you can figure the time out. We're just going to pause for however long you'd like to pause, and we're going to pray together for Charlie's healing. And so we want to, we checked in with the family and asked them it was okay. And they said, yes, like, please share and please ask whoever can to pray for him tonight. So that's what we're doing. We believe in his healing. And we know that we'll make it through. And I was telling his sister, I said, I can't wait to hear about the dreams that he is having in the hospital. Can you imagine? And I can't wait to hear about his dreams and the stories. He's been in my dreams. And the first dream I had of him, we were at this gathering, and I was just like, what's Charlie doing here? He's not wearing a mask. And he was busy talking about, he's always talking about programs. Oh, we got to do this program. We got to do this program. And that's what he was doing in my dream. And so it was really good to see that. So thank you all in advance for taking the time and praying for him. So again, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. Central. We're just going to pause for a little bit and do a collective prayer for Charlie Tailfeathers. So thank you. And with that too, we want to pray for all of our community members who are impacted with COVID. And we want to thank everyone who is staying home. We want to thank everyone who is wearing a mask when you have to go out or practice social distancing. This is real. And if you don't know anybody yet that has COVID, there's lots and lots of people that do, lots and lots of communities that are really struggling right now with death from COVID, that are really struggling with trying to quarantine, with multi-generational people in the homes. And this is a real thing, and it's impacting our communities, and it's bringing more trauma to our people, which again is another reason why we do the Native Wellness Power Hours. And the power hours too have really become a part of my self-care. I enjoy it every single day. I love the power hours, and they have become a part of my self-care as well. So I just want to thank each of you for
Jillene,
yeah.
I think also we need to let people know that Charlie's family is doing well, and that Nancy is healthy.
Thank you. Yeah, Charlie's wife Nancy and his children and grandchildren are doing well. They're keeping positive and keeping busy, and they're praying as well. That a few times they've got to do video, chats with him, and we were able to get some, traditional medicines into his hospital room. And the nurses called Nancy right away and said, "What are these things?" And because they didn't know what they were, but they knew they were important, and they laid that braided sweetgrass on his arm, so he knows that's with him in the room. So thank you each for coming and sharing your hearts, and thank you for who you are and what you do for our people. And I know that the Native Wellness Institute has been that beacon of light for many people. We get lots of messages from people daily, literally every day. And it feels really good that this is our part, this is our contribution to the pandemic, you know. And I just really thank each of you for everything that you're doing during this time. And we thank each of you for tuning in. And you know, we were going 7 days a week, and because of our own self-care, we're like, we cut it back to 5 days a week. So we're going to take a break on the weekend. And then on Monday, we're starting week 22 of the Native Wellness Power Hours. It's
Wow.
like today is our 141st Power Hour. So all of our Power Hours are on our Facebook page, and they're also on our YouTube channel. So you can go back, you know, if you're vegging out or if you're folding laundry, like go back and rewatch them and revisit. I've done that a couple of times on my favorite ones. And so they're on our YouTube channel, Native Wellness Institute on YouTube. And we hope that you continue to tune in. So again, we want to thank our sponsor this week, the Urban Indian Health Institute. If anybody else wants to sponsor, we're happy to do that. You can contact us at info@nativewellness.com. We're taking our trainings online. And so if your agency, our tribe, our program is interested in training, please contact us as well. And we just wish you well and have an amazing weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, Jillene, Terence Lafamboy is coming on with me on Monday, the 17th. And so I want to make a plug. Yeah. I want to make a plug for, you know, Terence is a boy to man, a res man that has come through a lot of challenges. And he's getting his master's through Toronto in Indigenous historical trauma. He's, you know, his wife is here, his son, he's raising his son. I mean, there's just I just want to plug Terence Lafamboy as the guest on Monday. Awesome. So please come join us on Power Hour.
Awesome. And other fundraisers are coming up. Keep an eye out for them.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Jean. Awesome. Okay. This was fun. We got to do this again. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you.
Bye.